Beneath the crashing waves of India's western shores lies a whisper, a story long thought to be myth. The city of Dwarka, where gods once walked and palaces shimmered in the sun, is said to have vanished beneath the sea. But what if this myth is memory? What if the legends held more truth than we dared imagine? Not in fiction, but in fact. Marine archaeologists off the coast of Gujarat started to uncover stone structures beneath the waves. Anchors, pillars, foundation blocks. These weren't scattered debris. They hinted at urban planning, civilization, permanence. For thousands of years, Dwarka lived in poetry and scripture, recounted in the ancient Mahabharata and other Hindu texts. It was said to be built by Lord Krishna himself, a city of golden domes, bustling ports, and divine architecture. This submerged world may hold secrets not just of religion, but of ancient history itself. Join us now as we descend beneath the waves and uncover evidence that challenges everything we thought we knew. All buried beneath sediment, but too orderly to be random. Later expeditions added sub-bottom profilers and remote-operated vehicles equipped with cameras and robotic arms. What they found was consistent. Man-made. Ancient. Undeniable. While the sunken ruins show no glittering metal, they mirror the layout described: 7 concentric walls, gates facing the sea, ports bustling with maritime trade. But after Krishna's departure from the earth, the city was reclaimed by the ocean. If the underwater ruins match those in the texts, it would suggest advanced global trade centuries, perhaps millennia, before modern historians believed possible. Circular stone anchors with multiple holes. Triangular anchors with grooves. These aren't fishing tools. They are signs of shipping. Infrastructure. Massive anchors, circular and triangular, rarely seen outside advanced maritime cultures. Because it means people didn't just live near the ocean, they mastered it. They built on it. And perhaps they fell to it. If so, it would rewrite the timeline of human settlement and maritime engineering. Carbon dating suggested some artifacts dated back over 9,000 years. Around 7000 BCE, global temperatures rose. Ice caps melted. Sea levels increased dramatically, submerging coastlines across the world. It describes geography, politics, customs, and cities with stunning clarity. If Dwarka existed as it was described, it would be a rare example of mythology aligning with archaeology. Could Dwarka have been a casualty of this planetary shift? And with every expedition, the mystery grew deeper. Pilots flying above have noticed unusual colorations in the water, indicative of submerged reefs. Satellite imagery shows disruptions along the continental shelf near Oka, possible fault lines where land collapsed into the sea. It maps buried ruins, identifies collapsed structures, and reconstructs terrain lost to erosion. Was there a seismic event? Did a tsunami sweep through? Or was it slow, decades of rising tides eventually swallowing ports and palaces? In short, the ocean has advanced, sometimes violently, sometimes stealthily. And Dwarka may have been one of its victims. But sonar cannot interpret. It cannot confirm who built, or why. It wouldn't prove the myth. But it would make it tangible. Hearing stories whispered by the currents. Others were unique, ornate designs suggesting ceremonial use. The site's fragility means exploration must be slow. Diving is limited by visibility and currents. Each sonar ping is precious. Each excavation a risk. Were its people builders, traders, or both? Did its religion shape its architecture, or vice versa? Scientists can now create 3D maps of ruins in minutes. They simulate erosion, predict collapse, and even recreate visual renderings of ancient buildings. Religious symbols, trade stamps, even small idols. A poetic ending, yes, but could the ocean truly have swallowed a thriving metropolis? With support from the Archaeological Survey of India, they deployed side-scan sonar, a technology that uses acoustic waves to paint maps of the seafloor. The results were startling. In the late 20th century, this tale began to shift. Sonar scans revealed linear formations, right angles stretching beneath the seabed. Grids resembling streets. Patterns that rarely occur in nature. Have you ever heard of the Lost City of Dwarka? As divers descended into the murky waters near Bet Dwarka Island, they noticed strange formations. Sandstone walls. Carved blocks. Could this mean civilization along the Indian coast existed long before the Indus Valley Civilization, long before Sumeria, even? In 1983, India's National Institute of Oceanography led an expedition to study the site. Underwater channels appeared. Rectilinear structures. Pavements. Courtyard-like voids. But mystery persisted. In sacred texts, Dwarka was described as having 70,000 palaces with walls adorned in gold and emeralds. Dwarka's ports were said to welcome ships from Arabia, Mesopotamia, and Southeast Asia. The presence of anchors, some weighing hundreds of kilograms, suggests large ocean-going vessels. Why does this matter? Every myth carries fragments of truth. When ancient texts describe floods and destruction, scientists consider climate data. Modern sonar technology gives us glimpses, but not answers. It allows archaeologists to peer through centuries of sediment. That's where archaeology steps in. Marine excavations retrieved pottery shards, tools, and remnants of brickwork. Some bore patterns seen in nearby Harappan sites. Could Dwarka have been a sacred hub, a spiritual capital as well as a trade port? To understand its significance, we must consider context. The Mahabharata isn't just mythology, it's part epic, part historical chronicle. But Dwarka isn't just one site. Local fishermen speak of sunken stones across a 30-kilometer stretch. The ocean may have consumed not just one city, but many. A network. An entire region. This adds another layer. If Dwarka was part of a civilization extending across western India's coastline, how did it all disappear? Geological data shows subsidence, the sinking of land due to shifting plates. And sediment analysis confirms marine transgressions. Today, researchers work carefully. But the future holds promise. Newer technologies, like underwater photogrammetry and AI-enhanced terrain modeling, offer deeper analysis. One proposal suggests a full virtual reconstruction of Dwarka, based on sonar data, historical texts, and artifact mapping. Imagine walking through Dwarka's sunken corridors in virtual space. Seeing the pillars. Touching the sea-worn walls. But some questions remain. Was Dwarka uniquely divine, or one of many ancient coastal cities lost over time? And perhaps most importantly, how did it disappear? The ocean hides answers. Its silence is deceptive. But as technology grows more sensitive, and as mythology and science inch closer, Dwarka rises again. Not in stone, but in understanding. This isn't just a story of one city. It's a tale of civilization, memory, and the delicate line between myth and reality. Because maybe, when ancient poets spoke of shimmering palaces and gods beneath the sea, they weren't imagining. They were remembering. Beneath the surface of our planet's vast oceans lie secrets still untouched by time. Civilizations once thriving, now erased by water's force, perhaps not by accident, but as part of history's hidden chapters. We often imagine ruins buried in sand, but what if the greatest stories are sunken beneath the waves? The ocean covers over 70% of Earth's surface, yet only a fraction has been explored. And in that deep silence, ancient voices may still echo. In India, Dwarka, described in sacred Hindu texts as Lord Krishna's capital, has been found underwater near the Gujarat coast. Marine excavations revealed stone anchors, walls, and artifacts dating back thousands of years. In Egypt, Heraklion, once a bustling port, disappeared after earthquakes and floods. Its rediscovery in 2000 revealed colossal statues, temple ruins, and inscriptions. In Lake Titicaca, divers unearthed evidence of submerged temples and offerings. In 360 BC, Greek philosopher Plato described Atlantis, a mighty, advanced city said to have vanished beneath the sea in a single day and night of misfortune. When oral traditions speak of floods, gods, and vanishing cities, scientists now listen. Geological surveys test soil layers. These legends fuel discovery, guiding expeditions and inspiring technologies. It preserves temples built of coral, roads paved with volcanic stone, tools left untouched for millennia. And the more we listen to the myths, from Plato to ancient Sanskrit, from Japanese fishermen to Andean priests, the clearer it becomes. History is fluid. Sometimes it drifts. Sometimes it sinks. But always, it waits to be uncovered. Underwater archaeology has exploded with advancements: sonar imaging, AI-based mapping, remote-operated vehicles that explore depths unreachable by divers. Each discovery, each shattered column and buried artifact, reshapes our timeline of human progress. We see not primitive people, but innovators whose legacies were swallowed by the sea. Linguists trace patterns in ancient storytelling. And historians re-evaluate what was considered fiction. Could these be distorted memories of real events, tsunamis, tectonic shifts, or climate changes that reshaped civilizations? And with every new dive, sonar ping, and uncovered monument, we rewrite a story we thought we understood. His account in Timaeus and Krishna sparked centuries of fascination. Geologists found no continental crust in that region, yet stories of Kumarikandam persist in southern India as poetic memory. With sharply cut steps, flat platforms, and what appears to be an altar, the monument sparks fierce debate. Professor Masaaki Kimura believes it was carved by humans over 10,000 years ago. Skeptics argue it's simply shaped by natural erosion. Yet when divers explore its terraces and archways, it's hard not to wonder, was this a ceremonial center, forgotten and reclaimed by the sea? In the Pacific, British Colonel James Churchward spoke of Mu, a civilization lost long before Egypt or Mesopotamia. Though criticized as pseudoscience, these tales have influenced cultural identity and inspired real scientific inquiry. Could seismic activity and rising seas explain the roots of these legends? Atlantis was organized in concentric rings of land and water, featuring vast palaces, temples to Poseidon, and a naval power that rivaled all known empires. Some scholars say it was a metaphor for hubris and punishment. Others search still, pointing to the Sahara, Antarctica, or Bimini Road in the Bahamas, a strange underwater stone formation resembling paved roads. But Atlantis is only the beginning. In the Indian Ocean, legends speak of Lemuria, a lost continent where Tamil culture flourished before vanishing. In the waters off Japan lies Yonaguni, a submerged structure stretching hundreds of feet across the seabed. Stories of sunken cities aren't unique to the Mediterranean or Asia. Across cultures, these myths share something remarkable: a reverence for lost knowledge and a fear of nature's power. It's not just the stories that matter, it's what they lead us to. The ocean is more than a graveyard, it is a time capsule. What lies beneath may not just be ruins. It may be answers to who we were and what we are becoming. For centuries, stories of underwater cities lived only in myth. But in recent decades, discoveries across the globe have begun to blur the line between fantasy and fact. From sunken temples to submerged streets, science is finally catching up with legend, and what we're finding beneath the ocean may rewrite everything we thought we knew. Near the coast of Greece lies Pavlopetri, one of the oldest known underwater cities, dating back over 5,000 years. Once a key trade port and religious center near Alexandria, Heraclion sank after a series of earthquakes and rising sea levels. Rediscovered in 2000, its remains stunned the world: colossal statues of Egyptian gods, inscriptions, ceremonial boats, gold coins, and even temples. Multi-beam sonar paints topographical maps of the seafloor. Submersible drones roam the depths, capturing high-definition footage in lightless waters. AI algorithms help reconstruct ruins by analyzing thousands of fragmented data points, piecing together broken temples and distorted columns with astonishing precision. Submerged more than 6 meters under the Bay of Ibuki, Heraclian's grandeur hinted at a civilization far more sophisticated than previously understood. These technologies reveal sunken roads, buried mosaics, and even foundations covered for millennia. Every piece of data adds to a larger puzzle, a picture of ancient lifelong thought erased. And each new tool pulls human history further into focus. Unlike Atlantis, this is no myth. Its streets, courtyards, and tombs remain preserved beneath shallow waters. Their temples aligned with solstices. Their cities followed logical layouts. Their inscriptions recorded philosophy and law. It's a reminder that ancient people weren't simplistic, they were complex, ingenious, and capable of immense achievement. In the dark, in the deep, in silence, to be found again. In some cases, entire walls or inscriptions have disappeared within years of discovery. From the Aegean to the Caribbean, divers continue to descend. Data analysts continue to decode. Historians continue to rewrite. And every ruin surfaced becomes a beacon, a call to look deeper, search wider, and ask bolder questions. Were they wiped out by rapid climate shifts, geological upheaval, or human conflict? Some researchers believe sea level rise at the end of the last ice age flooded countless coastal settlements. Others argue that tsunamis, triggered by landslides or meteor impacts, may have suddenly submerged thriving cities. Preservation efforts now race against natural decay, pollution, and geopolitical limits. International collaboration becomes vital. Teams from multiple countries share scans, dive logs, and artifact analyses to preserve what remains. Stories from ancient India, Polynesia, and even Mesoamerica speak of sacred places located beneath the waves. Were these metaphorical spiritual realms, or was humanity experimenting with ways to live under the sea? It's speculative, yes. But the ruins make such speculation harder to dismiss. The formations resembled urban blocks, massive stone platforms, symmetrical walls, and shapes unlike natural geology. Though further exploration is limited, satellite imagery and sonar scans suggest it could be evidence of a submerged landmass, possibly tens of thousands of years old. As tectonic plates shifted and oceans warmed, these places were gradually or suddenly swallowed. Historical patterns seem to confirm this, with simultaneous flooding events around the globe recorded in oral traditions and archaeological layers. Scientists remain cautious, but the mystery persists. Could this be a lost city beneath the Caribbean? Discovered in 1967 and digitally mapped in the 2000s, it reveals urban planning far ahead of its time. Pavla Petri had organized housing, drainage systems, and even public spaces. This wasn't a forgotten village, it was a thriving center of commerce and culture during the Bronze Age. In western India, marine archaeologists explored the legendary city of Dwarka, believed to be the home of Lord Krishna, a central figure in Hindu mythology. For centuries, Dwarka was dismissed as symbolic, not historical. Yet beneath the waves off Gujarat's coast, researchers uncovered stone anchors, massive wall foundations, and pottery dating back to 1500 BCE. Ancient texts described the city as disappearing into the sea after Krishna's departure. Now, with physical ruins matching mythological accounts, scholars reconsider its place in history. On Egypt's northern coast, Heraclian, also called Thonis, vanished from maps for over 1,000 years. But not all underwater discoveries are near the shore. Off the coast of Cuba, in deep ocean waters, researchers detected strange megalithic structures arranged in geometric patterns. The tools we now use to uncover these cities are as extraordinary as the ruins themselves. Remote sensing allows archaeologists to see beneath layers of sediment. These sites are often fragile, many exposed only by shifting tides or erosion. That makes timing critical. Even more startling than the ruins are the questions they raise. How did these civilizations fall? One compelling theory suggests that many ancient civilizations lived dangerously close to shorelines, valuing trade access over safety. and still, whispers remain of cities built not on land, but underwater by design. Each discovery redefines our understanding of human development. Underwater cities show us that early societies had advanced knowledge of architecture, hydrology, and astronomy. Underwater archaeology is still young. And with less than 5% of the ocean floor explored, what we've found is likely only the beginning. Because maybe history isn't lost. Maybe it's just waiting. The search for underwater cities isn't just about the past, it's about what comes next. As technology evolves, so does our ability to uncover, understand, and protect submerged civilizations. High-resolution sonar now maps the ocean floor in stunning detail, revealing lost roads, temples, and homes without disturbing the sediment. Submersible drones navigate deep trenches, recording images from places divers could never reach. AI algorithms rebuild entire ruins virtually, turning scattered fragments into living models. We don't just find ruins anymore, we restore their stories. Fishermen in Japan spoke of Yonaguni's underwater terraces 4 decades before scientists arrived. But underwater cities reveal advanced engineering, astronomical alignment, and artistic expression carved into stone. Beneath the Arctic shelf may lie undiscovered settlements from the Ice Age. It's cold, lightless depth shelter ruins from weather, war, and development. New evidence of intercontinental trade stretching back 10,000 years. Perhaps even technologies lost to history, tools for underwater architecture, energy harnessed from waves, forgotten methods of marine navigation. It's a vault, slow to reveal its contents, but patient. And the deeper we dive, the more generous it becomes. Off the coast of South America, sonar reveals patterns hinting at vast submerged terraces. In Southeast Asia, shifting tectonic plates may hide ruins older than any we've found. Exploration is no longer limited by depth, but by curiosity. Empires rise, fall, and sometimes vanish beneath the sea, waiting to be heard again. And maybe, in their silence, they teach us humility. These people understood the stars, the tides, the seasons. They traded goods across continents. They built societies that endured for millennia. In India, Dwarka's ruins reinforce spiritual heritage. These sites are more than history, they are bridges between myth and fact, belief and evidence. When we find a sunken statue, we ask, who built this? What did they believe? How did they live? And when we find a temple, we wonder, what prayers were whispered here? What ceremonies unfolded beneath a rising sun? And in that journey forward, we begin to grasp what it truly means to be human. Today's underwater archaeology is driven by tools that would seem futuristic just decades ago. Touching these ruins, or improperly excavating them, can destroy centuries of history. When viewers walk through a reconstructed Heraclean temple in VR, or hear the echo of wind simulated over Pavlopetri's ancient streets, history becomes personal. Rising seas, environmental collapse, neglect of nature's balance. These cities warn us, quietly, from below. And personal connection drives protection. That's why global conservation efforts are expanding. In 2023, UNESCO designated several submerged sites as protected heritage zones, promoting ethical exploration and funding preservation technology. One emerging method uses underwater LiDAR, laser imaging that cuts through murky water to detect subtle shifts in terrain. Combined with satellite data, researchers can track long-term ocean movements, helping pinpoint where ancient cities may have drifted or collapsed. These maps have revealed sunken harbors beneath the Adriatic Sea, submerged plazas off India's coast, and even hidden fault lines beneath the Caribbean. But discovery comes with responsibility. Many underwater sites are fragile, exposed only because tides or erosion revealed them. Alongside scientists, storytellers play a role too. Documentaries, interactive digital museums, and virtual reality immersions help bring underwater cities to life for the public. Culturally, underwater discoveries reshape identity. For coastal communities, these ruins validate folklore long dismissed. They also challenge assumptions. For too long, history painted ancient people as primitive. The more we uncover, the more we realize how little we know. And here's the greatest irony: the ocean, which hides these cities, also preserves them. In the decades ahead, what might we discover? Cities built to resist flooding. Colonies abandoned during seismic disasters. But the journey doesn't end with discovery, it begins with reflection. Underwater cities force us to confront a deeper truth, that civilization is not linear. Progress doesn't move in one direction. As we look forward, perhaps the most important lesson isn't how they lived, but how they were lost. So let us listen. Let us protect what we find. And let us remember that every discovery beneath the waves is also a reflection of ourselves. Because the ocean doesn't just hold history. It holds our future.
Planet Earth is full of natural wonders and man-made marvels. But beyond its beauty lies a world of deep mystery. From ancient ruins whose origins defy explanation to landscapes shaped by forces beyond understanding, this planet is teeming with secrets waiting to be uncovered. In this video, we'll take you on a journey through the 30 most mysterious places on Earth, sites that continue to baffle scientists, historians, and explorers alike. Are you ready to discover the Earth's deepest secrets? Let's begin. Area 51, Nevada, USA, a place synonymous with secrecy, conspiracy, and UFO sightings. This U.S. Air Force facility in the Nevada desert is the epicenter of alien theories and Cold War mystery. No one knows what really goes on inside, but that hasn't stopped tourists and theorists from speculating wildly. Bermuda Triangle, Atlantic Ocean, an infamous triangle between Bermuda, Puerto Rico, and Miami. More than 20 planes and 50 ships have reportedly vanished here without a trace. Some say it's magnetic anomalies, others blame aliens or underwater cities. Blood Falls, Antarctica, a 5-story red waterfall bleeding from a glacier. At first glance, it looks like something out of a horror film, but the color comes from iron-rich water oxidizing as it hits the air, eerie yet fascinating. Coral Castle, Florida, USA, built entirely by one man without machines over 25 years. More than 1,100 tons of coral rock were sculpted and moved using unknown techniques. Some believe magnetism or supernatural forces helped him. Crooked Forest, Poland, hundreds of pine trees with unnatural, almost identical 90-degree bends at their base. Were they shaped by human hands or by some natural catastrophe? No one knows for sure. Devil's Bridge, Cromwell, Germany, known as Raketsbrück. This 19th century bridge is famed for forming a perfect circle with its reflection in the water. Many believed it was so perfect it could only have been built by the devil. Devil's Tower, Wyoming, USA, a massive volcanic rock formation rising from the plains. Sacred to Native American tribes, it also starred in Spielberg's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a place of ceremony, mystery, and geology. Door to Hell, Turkmenistan, a fiery crater in the Karakum Desert that's been burning for over 50 years. Created accidentally during gas exploration, engineers set it alight, and it's never gone out. Easter Island, Chile, home to nearly 1,000 Moai statues carved by the Rapa Nui people. Each statue weighs several tons, yet no one knows exactly how they were transported. Some believe they walked, others blame lost technology. Eternal Flame Falls, New York, USA. A waterfall with a flickering flame burning behind it. Fueled by methane gas leaking through the rocks, the fire sometimes goes out, but visitors always relight it, keeping the legend alive. Fairy Circles, Namibia, mysterious round patches that dot the desert landscape like polka dots on a canvas. Their cause? Some say termites, others believe it's plants competing for water, but no one knows for sure. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland, 40,000 polygonal, basalt columns rising from the sea like a natural staircase. Science says volcanic activity, folklore says a giant built it. Great Blue Hole, Belize, a massive marine sinkhole more than 1,000 feet across and 400 feet deep. Divers report an eerie, quiet, and unexplained lights in the depths. The Great Pyramid of Giza, Egypt, the only surviving wonder of the ancient world. How were the 2.3 million blocks placed so precisely without modern tools? Ramp theories exist, but mystery remains. Island of the Dolls, Mexico, a haunting island where dolls hang from trees, said to be a tribute to a drowned girl. Some visitors swear the dolls move or whisper. Kawah Ijen, Indonesia, a volcano with bright blue fire. Sulfuric gases combust upon contact with air, creating a hellish, otherworldly glow. Lake Abraham, Canada. In winter, methane bubbles freeze under the ice, forming ghostly white orbs. Beautiful, but highly flammable. Lake Hillier, Australia, a bubblegum pink lake that defies logic. Scientists guess algae or bacteria might be the cause, but no one knows for sure. Lake Maracaibo, Venezuela, home to the most consistent lightning storm on Earth, strikes up to 28 times a minute, every night for 9 hours. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Its waters can calcify animals and preserve them like statues. Yet it's also a breeding ground for flamingos. Loch Ness, Scotland home to Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. Real or myth, no proof, but millions believe. Magnetic Hill, India, where cars seem to roll uphill. Optical illusion or geomagnetic anomaly. Marfa Lights, Texas, USA. Floating orbs appear in the sky, changing color and speed. No one knows where they come from. Some say ghosts, others UFOs. Michigan Triangle, Lake Michigan, USA, a freshwater Bermuda Triangle. Ships, planes, and people have all vanished here, with no explanation. Meraki boulders, New Zealand spherical stones, dot the beach, formed over millions of years. Bori legends say they're remnants of a shipwreck. Nazca lines, Peru, gigantic geoglyphs carved into the desert by ancient people, only visible from above. Their purpose, still unknown. Papacolia Beach, Hawaii, one of the world's only green sand beaches. The color comes from olivine crystals left by an ancient volcano. Pine Gap, Australia, a joint U.S.-Australian satellite surveillance base, surrounded by secrecy and reports of alien sightings. Plain of Jars, those thousands of ancient stone jars scattered across fields, thought to be used for burial rituals, but no proof. The racetrack, Death Valley, USA, rocks that move on their own across a dry lake bed. Scientists discovered thin ice sheets and wind work together to push them. Rigid structure, Mauritania, also known as the Eye of the Sahara, a massive circular feature visible from space. Was it a meteor strike or natural erosion? Roanoke Island, North Carolina, USA. The lost colony vanished without a trace in the 1580s. Only the word Croix-Sardine was found, a mystery still unsolved. Roswell, New Mexico, USA, the alleged crash site of a UFO in 1947. Officially explained as a weather balloon, but conspiracy theories persist. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia, the world's largest salt flat. During the rainy season, it reflects the sky perfectly, creating a surreal landscape. Sea of stars, Maldives bioluminescent plankton, light up the waves at night, creating a starry sea, like walking through the galaxy. Skellig Michael, Ireland, a remote island home to ancient monastic ruins. Featured in Star Wars, it's shrouded in mist and mystery. Slope Point, New Zealand winds from Antarctica bend trees into permanent angles. A place that looks like nature's sculpture garden. Spotted Lake, Canada, in summer, the lake dries into colorful mineral pools. Each spot is said to have healing powers by local tribes. Stone Spheres, Costa Rica, perfectly round stones created by ancient people. No one knows how they were made, or why. Stonehenge, England, a monument over 5,000 years old. Built as a temple, observatory, or burial site? No one truly knows. the world remains filled with questions. And while science has explained much, these places remain enigmatic reminders that mystery is very much alive. Which of these places fascinated you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.
For millennia, human history seemed clear. We went from tribal societies to agricultural villages, then to great kingdoms, empires, and eventually the modern world. Our technological progress was steady, our advancement undeniable. But what if this story has been hiding something big, something that challenges everything we think we know about how we got here? This ship was extraordinary, not just because of its age, estimated to be around 2,000 years old, but also because of what lay inside. Inside that lump of corroded metal lived a machine. A machine so impossibly complex, so technically advanced, it left everyone scratching their heads. Let me show you why. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary clock. But I assure you, there is nothing ordinary about this clock. This clock is a record-breaking masterpiece, a symphony of mechanics. Why was it discarded and how did it survive? The answers, my friends, lie hidden in the annals of time. At first, it seemed like a typical cargo: wine, pottery, marble statues, and bronze weapons. It was a device designed to predict eclipses, monitor the phases of the moon, calculate the timing of the Olympic Games, and even track ships. But as the excavations continued, they unearthed something totally unexpected: a strange, heavy lump made of corroded bronze, mixed with rusted gears. It's not a single device, but a complex system, made up of many parts. What if there's an entire chapter of history that we've accidentally skipped over? A secret history of technology. A pointer at the top points to the month, while another indicates the day of the week. There's even a gear to account for the extra daylight hours during summer, a remarkably advanced concept. The largest, divided into 360 segments, measures the sun's movement in degrees throughout the day. Underneath is a transparent window showing the rising and setting of the sun. But predicting the date of these games was no easy task. Sure, some scholars have decoded its movements, some gears and pinions have been restored. We know it uses the same gearing principle as modern clocks, and we understand the basic functions. You have all the tools at your disposal, modern imaging techniques, advanced software, but you're stumped. It's a time capsule. After 100 years, we are still deciphering its secrets. The problem is that the Olympic Games were tied to the lunar cycle, specifically the first full moon after the summer solstice. But this artifact reveals a society that was also deeply scientific, deeply curious about the cosmos. It showcases a mastery of engineering that puts them leagues ahead of their supposed contemporaries. Was there a civilization out there with the technology and know-how to build such a thing? If so, where are their inventions, their machines, their knowledge? They bear striking similarities to modern batteries, leading some to speculate that ancient Mesopotamians understood the principles of electricity. Some say it's evidence of Atlantis, while others claim it shows Antarctica, which shouldn't have been visible until much later. The device even has a gear to display the date of the Olympic Games, an event deeply ingrained in ancient Greek culture. Did they use copper chisels and wooden mallets, or were they more advanced than we realize? The Antikythera mechanism is a central piece in this puzzle. Smaller dials above and below it indicate the hour and the zodiac signs. It proves that humans have always been driven to understand the universe. Now imagine a future where this device is no longer a mystery, where scientists have mapped its workings and its secrets are laid bare. Consider the casing stones of the pyramids. They are massive blocks of granite, incredibly heavy and incredibly well cut. No other device, no other blueprint, no evidence of mass production, just this lone artifact in a museum. So the next time you hear someone dismiss the intelligence of ancient cultures, remember this machine. Remember the craftsmanship, the genius that went into every gear, every dial, every calculation. And if you've enjoyed this episode, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Its creators likely used a process called gematria, where they assign numerical values to letters, treating numbers as a kind of secret code. A future where the lost history of technology becomes a little less lost. This added layer of complexity has baffled experts, making the Antikythera mechanism one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in scientific history. We are about to go back to a time before recorded history, before writing, before legends. This makes our device the earliest known example of someone tracking eclipses with such accuracy. Around the edge are pointers and dials used to set the date and adjust the settings. It's a mechanical marvel, an astronomical powerhouse, and it's 2,000 years old. To set the time, you rotate the hand dial. As you do, a series of gears come to life, each one transferring motion to the next, creating a chain reaction that sets the calendar in motion. One dial, known as the Saros cycle dial, is used to predict eclipses, a feature that makes this device truly unique. All this from a device crafted more than 2,000 years ago. You're a seasoned archaeologist who's seen countless relics of the past. Then suddenly, while brushing away centuries of dirt, you discover a bronze gear. Gears. Not just one, but dozens of them, intricately designed, precisely machined, forming part of the most advanced piece of engineering in human history. We are going to uncover an enigma so confounding, so controversial, it has been called the most mysterious device ever discovered. And now I am bringing you the full story, the kind that mainstream media will never tell you. This is the Forgotten Machine. Our journey begins on a tiny Greek island named Antikythera, hidden away in the Aegean Sea. For centuries, this rocky outcrop was nothing more than an obscure footnote, known only to fishermen and sailors. That was until 1901 when sponge divers stumbled upon a shipwreck at the bottom of the sea. Archaeologists quickly realized they had found a vessel unlike any other. It looked like a mass of junk, barely worth salvaging. And yet, as they cleaned it up, something remarkable became clear. They had found the Antikythera mechanism, a device so baffling that it has remained unexplained for over a century. Imagine for a moment the year is 1902. Even today, with all our technology, we marvel at its complexity. But for those pioneers of archaeology, the shock must have been unimaginable. This isn't just a random collection of bronze. These pieces, once assembled, formed a sophisticated astronomical instrument. It's the oldest analog computer ever found, a supremely accurate calendar, a planetary tracker, and a celestial forecaster. But how could something so advanced, so intricate be lying in a shipwreck, covered in barnacles, silent and forgotten? Who were its makers? And let me tell you, what we do know is just the tip of the iceberg. First, let's dissect the mechanism itself. At the core is a large disk etched with numbers from 1 to 8, each representing a month. Gears drive the whole mechanism, 37 of them in total, all crafted with astonishing precision, allowing for minute adjustments and highly accurate calculations. As the months pass, the pointers move to reflect the changing dates. So how did the ancients use it? Well, let's dive deeper. On the back are 3 main dials. These dials are linked to a central knob which allows you to adjust the time according to the season. On the front, 5 pointers tell you the position of the moon and its phases. Every 4 years, thousands of spectators would gather to witness athletic competitions held in Olympia, an ancient city in western Greece. To determine this date, the Antikythera mechanism used the Saros cycle, an 18-year cycle of lunar phases, which allowed for precise calculation of eclipse patterns. All this adds up to a device capable of modeling the moon's phases, the Olympic cycle, solar eclipses, planetary positions, even predicting seasons. But here's the biggest kicker. We don't know exactly how it works. But there are parts of this mechanism that remain a complete mystery. Imagine being an engineer or a scientist today tasked with understanding this machine. You have to admit that's quite humbling. But there's more to the story. The Antikythera mechanism isn't just an object. It represents a level of technical achievement that we associate with much later periods in history. It forces us to reconsider the capabilities of ancient civilizations. When we think of ancient Greeks, we often picture philosophers, artists, and warriors. To put things in perspective, at the same time this mechanism was being crafted in Greece, the rest of the world was using simple stone tools. Here's the most puzzling part. We haven't found anything like it anywhere else. It begs the question, was this a unique creation or was it just one of many? Have they all been lost to time? The Antikythera mechanism doesn't operate on its own. It interacts with other historical anomalies that defy conventional history. Take the Baghdad Battery, for instance, a collection of clay jars and metal tubes found in Iraq. Then we have the Piri race map, a 16th century Ottoman nautical chart that depicts continents joined together. But perhaps even stranger is the perfectly carved granite blocks of ancient Egypt. But how did ancient Egyptians cut through solid granite without proper tools? I'm just highlighting a few puzzles that fit together like a jigsaw. But why does it matter? Why should we care about this ancient box of gears? Because it embodies the spirit of invention. It shows us that we've always had the potential to achieve great things. It's a future where we might find answers to questions we haven't even asked yet. But until that day, the Antikythera mechanism will remain a timeless puzzle, a testament to human ingenuity. Let it be a reminder that history is not a straight line, but a tapestry woven with threads of brilliance that we are only beginning to understand. What do you think? Is there another technology from antiquity that we've overlooked? Please share your thoughts.